Alright, today we are going to be ranking every Papa's game for the PC, yeah, which excludes about 3 of them. Okay, where do we start? Let's go with Pizzeria. Uh, Pizzeria was a fine game. It was the original one, and it doesn't. It's quite hard and complicated. Mm, but it's simple, but uh, for what it becomes, there's no upgrades. It's everything is way too fast paced for my liking, and it, yeah, there's about 10 customers. It's not that enjoyable, and just for what becomes. All right, now we got Burgeria. Burgeria, it's a great game. It's very simple, but it's quite great. Doing it. It's not cluttered or anything. It's just very simple. You make the burgers, you build them, and that's it. Okay, now we got Takamiya. Takamiya, I quite enjoyed Takamiya, not just due to the fact that I broke it, but but it is, but it's not as good as Burgeria. It's got the same thing, not as cluttered as Burgeria. Everything is simple. It was a good game, but it's not the best. You're gonna have to put that in C tier. Alright, we got Freezeria up next. This one is by far the best. More so of the deluxe version. No, all the specials were fun. All the characters, all the items. It was very easy, yeah, but its pacing is great. It's just very enjoyable as a game. Alright, it's Pancakeria up next. Okay. This one's a weird one. It's the only game where you have to unlock a station. Like rank 15. This one's got it's got like a say it's gets very messy as a game after you unlocked the drink station. I think it would have been better off if it put it in the if you just unlocked off beginning, and you've also got the 50-50 thing, which doesn't help for the cooking, like Burgeria, but which puts this down a tier for me. But it's fine as a game, but it's not the best as well. Okay, let's go for Wingeria. I think this one's fine as a game. It's quite it's quite slow for me. Yeah, the boosters and everything don't help. This I find this plate stacking weird. The crazy. And there's you can mess up when moving objects with the stains on the plate, which you have to use napkins to clear up, which I think is a stupid idea. And I just didn't find this one as fun as anything. Go with Hot Doggeria next. This this one it's very simple. This one's quite on the easier side. I Unfortunately, it's got the 50-50 thing, just like the other games, which I don't like. The gameplay itself is great. Uh, where does this one go? I think we could put this one as an A tier. Now we got Cupcakeria. This one, this one's kind of like Freezeria. It's all the gameplay's quite similar. There's no other cooking styles. There's no There's none of that 50-50 thing. The stacking and everything is quite similar to Freezeria, except that you got to do two this time. But it's nowhere as good as Freezeria itself. Which moves us on to Pastoria. I have done a series on it, and I haven't gotten back to it. This one's quite a hard one. I really do want to like it, but I just can't as a game. It's just too much. The garlic bread cools off way too quickly unless you've got the heat lamp. And doing the sauce and everything is just weird. I think I'm gonna put this one in lower C tier. Then we got Donateria. This one this one is this one's great. I played this one a lot when I was younger, and I think it's quite good as it is. It's the stacking is the stacking is just like the Freezeria and Cupcakeria, just move left and right. And customers order 3 donuts at a time, which I think would have been good if it had like order evolution, which we'll get to on Scooperia. I think that would have been good, where the customer orders more over time. I think that would have been a good idea. Alright, Cheeseria. This one is awful. You have to do 2 cooking stations as well as the cooking types. It is basically a Burgeria clone in its gameplay style, and I don't like doing the chip station either. It's just terrible as a game. I don't enjoy it. At least this was the first game to introduce specials. Then we got Bakeria. Bakeria, I keep forgetting Bakeria exists as a game. It's not too memorable for me. The stacking is just off for me. The baking takes too long. Like, why couldn't these customers they're in a mall of all things. Why couldn't they just tell me their order? And then they leave, come back at like the end of the day, and then just get their pie, because we're baking full pies from the get-go. So just, they don't need to wait and stand and stare at me. Then we got Papa Sushiria, one of the most controversial games of the series for its difficulty, but I think its difficulty comes from the fact that you can't move while holding things. But personally, I quite enjoy it. But quite biased as well because I quite like sushi. But I think it's a decent game, at least. And finally, Scooperia. This was the first Papa's game I beat. It introduced Order Evolution, which I think should have been in Donateria. The ice cream, the specials. It's quite fast paced as a game, so burning it is easy. But I quite like it. It was the first one I did beat, so I think it deserves an S tier, up with Freezeria. And that is the rest. We'll get to the rest of the mobile games in a different video once I've got the games, but yeah, that's it for this video.